welcome.
This is the Reckless Pursuit.
What is it?
Reckless Pursuit, right?
Yeah, Reckless Pursuit
Or did we decide to alter that?
Tentative Reckless Pursuit podcast.
Tentative the Reckless Podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Aaron,
I'm Domo.
and we're here
Here to do what?
to jig.
Jig what?
You went along with it.
Gigolo. Well,
My hands up high, my feet down low.
yeah, the Ghetto Girl national anthem.
We didn't introduce Sozo.
Oh, Sozo got an attitude with us.
Is Sozo on the camera? Or you can't see him. Come
Yeah.
on, Sozo. Come on up.
There he
There you
is.
go.
Way to go, Sozo.
Sozo.
Sozo's going to join us from time to time when he feels like it.
Yeah, all right, you can get down now. All right.
It's a quick cameo. Thanks, buddy.
But no, so we're here. We decided to do this podcast just to kind of give a positive perspective on how we feel things are going along in the world, and we are believers. We do believe in Jesus Christ, but we just want to talk about things that everybody else is talking about.
Yeah, and there are a lot of different perspectives in the world, and so we just feel that our perspectives as young African American Christian men is valuable to the conversation. So apparently we're darkies.
Yeah, and lighting is pretty bad
Right.
for
It's
darkies.
tough to get lighting, to go in your favor when you're our complexion.
Uh-huh.
But we
So
hope
the
that
light skinned guy behind the camera don't have a problem
absolutely
with it though.
he got an attitude because we got a little more melanin than he does. But it's cool.
That's funny. But yeah. So first topic, elections.
Elections. And I guess Donald Trump is kind of the big name in this election season, which is really odd. And so he is the big name as a candidate as opposed to as a donor this time. So
Right.
that's always awkward.
Yeah.
His appearances and his rallies are always kind of tense with protesters from Black Lives Matter and those who support him. It just seems like there's always the potential for something major to go wrong.
So did you see the video with the girl being pushed out the rally?
I did see that. I was on the fence. I thought they, of course, were absurd. They acted crazy.
Right.
But I also was kind of angry at her
Yeah.
because I felt like she put herself in position to be hurt.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good look, and she was out there by herself. So I just wish she was a little
more responsible.
Yeah,
yeah.
exercise some more wisdom.
But apparently, a couple of the guys actually got fired from their jobs. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and one guy was he was enlisting to be a Marine.
Wow,
And they said no.
that's interesting.
I mean, so I was appreciative of the fact that they took a
Yeah.
stance on that. But overall, man, it was just crazy. Yeah, she probably shouldn't have been there. But it's
Right.
crazy that you can't go to a political event.
Yeah.
I don't know what her intentions were, but she may have just been there just to protest. But in general, like I feel like if I was to show up to that, I would get the same reception. And I'm not going to protest. Like maybe I just
Right.
want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I feel like my life could be threatened by just showing up to an event like that.
Right.
And I think that is a terrible precedence to set when it comes to a political affair. Like
And it seems that there's always been this this undercover racism that's been going on in America,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like Mr. Trump and his some of the rhetoric that he uses is just really taking the cover off and giving people the opportunity to express how angry they are at some of the opportunities that people of different races and social classes have been given. So this isn't something that just came out of nowhere.
Mm-mm.
I think it's just being revealed in a different way. So it's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in.
Yeah, I mean, people feel like they can rally behind him. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about any of it, to be honest. It's just
It's scary.
yeah. I mean, anytime the UK is deciding whether they're going to ban Donald Trump
Right.
or not.
That's amazing to me how big of a deal he is everywhere. Like the Pope had something to say about Donald Trump. That's really amazing.
Right,
The
right.
Pope.
Yeah,
So
I mean, but this Pope seems to be pretty vocal in general. Like,
absolutely,
he got something to say about everything.
absolutely.
So I mean,
Like when he yelled at the man and told him, "Don't be selfish." That was hilarious.
and then I can't remember if this was true or not, but did he actually speak with that lady Kim Davis?
You know what? That's a good question. I'm
Yeah,
not sure about that.
because I remember hearing that.
Yeah, because he
Yes,
was in town a few weeks after that whole situation happened. So I'm not sure if he actually met with her or not.
right,
I did hear
right.
that though.
Yeah. So we're gonna have somebody look on that, look up, that up right now. But that'll be interesting to know if he actually
Absolutely.
had a
He's
conversation with
definitely
her.
a different kind of pope. He's been involved in a lot of stuff. He talks when he feels the need,
Hmm.
and he has been kind of critical of even people in the Catholic Church and their leadership.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to have two popes alive, and one pope is really different from the other
Two
pope.
popes alive.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
rare.
that is rare.
I don't
I
think
didn't even think about that.
that's one of the most rare things to happen in the Catholic Church.
But yeah, so that is interesting, very interesting. But I think this would be a good segue to talk about, just in general, like the role of the government,
Right.
and because if you think about how the government has operated
Right.
and how things have gone, it doesn't necessarily seem like the people are really in the best interest of
Right.
the government. I mean, maybe not. Maybe yes, people are in the best interest of the government. People are important to the government, but is it a priority? Are people a priority?
Right. And that's one thing that Bernie Sanders and the socialism perspective is trying to do. Socialists really are big on interfering a lot with the lives of people and trying to improve quality of life. So socialists have a lot of opinions about welfare and all that type of stuff. So they really want to get those type of programs running so people can have opportunities and all that stuff. But there's just some. What is your perspective on whether or not that is the actual role of the government? Should the government be involved at that level?
Right. Well, I'm not. I'm not necessarily. I don't. I don't know if I necessarily believe in socialism. I like
Right.
the model of capitalism. I
Right.
do think that it provides everybody the opportunity to make their own, decisions,
Yeah.
and be able to do what they feel is necessary with their money. But I was talking to my wife, and she had mentioned, that really it's not the government's job
Mm.
to
Okay.
take care of the people.
Right.
It's not the government's job to make sure that everybody is in right standing, and of healthy, a healthy, or whether it be financially or
Yeah.
physically. And it's really the church's job. I mean, it's really the body of Christ's job
Yeah.
to make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Right.
And
Yeah, the
and,
Bible talks about doing certain things for the least of these. So that's a good perspective.
yeah, no, definitely. And if you think about it from, it's like I was telling you earlier, I took an urban economics class, and I
Right.
was talking about how certain things are allowed by the government in order to keep the government flowing
Yeah.
and running, and certain things they want people to make these type of decisions, or move here or do this, or even some amount of crime is allowed in order
Yeah.
to keep the economy running. And but all of that is based out of dollars,
Right.
and based out of
Absolutely.
what you can do for me and how you can
Absolutely.
do it for me, or how you're striving to make the economy better. But really, if a church is responsible for that, if the body of Christ was responsible for that, it should be based more out of love
Right.
than necessarily you do for me, I do for you, in a sense. And in that way, we won't be dealing with some of the issues we
Yeah.
have, because everything's rooted out of love. But yes, I mean, I thought that was an interesting conversation.
That's an excellent point.
But,
Because the government is always concerned about its operating budget, and
right.
if there's no opportunity to, increase the budget or do certain things like that, there really is no interest. So you got to think about interest does the government have in making sure that you are healthy?
Right.
Outside of being able to work and producing the economy, the government doesn't really care if you're healthy or not.
Right.
Because the healthcare industry really is contingent upon, it's dependent upon people not being healthy.
Right.
There would be no healthcare, quote unquote, industry, which affects the economy if there weren't sick people, if there was no cancer, if there was no,
Yeah. If I
there
give
weren't
you the
different
cure, how am I
diseases.
gonna make
Absolutely.
money? You know. So I mean.
Yeah. So I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but
I mean,
there is, there's some logic to that.
Yeah. So. Oh, Sozo's back.
Yeah, he came to say what's up again.
But yeah, one day I'm gonna show you guys his tricks. Sozo likes to play dead.
Yeah.
And he likes to box.
Yeah, he's a heck of a boxer.
RG3. So I was listening to what's that? ESPN 980.
Yeah.
You listen to that, right?
Yeah, I do a lot.
And who was it? It wasn't. No, it was Kevin Sheehan
And Thom Lavero.
Thom. Yeah, I don't see how you get Tom out of that.
Thom.
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 Thom the Thought.
Hey, Sozo.
So, I said Thom the Thought.
Thom the Thought. That's it.
I'm sorry, Thom Lavero. But anyway, and they were talking about, will he have a better season in the 2012 season? And then, obviously that segues into, well, where is he going to play?
Right.
And so
Anywhere but Dallas, I hope.
but that's where he's going. Rumor has it that he's going to Dallas.
The latest I heard was that the coaches are starting to advise against it.
Really?
So they're saying that they don't think he would fit the system and all that kind of stuff. So
I mean, what system is he going to fit other than
a made-up system,
well,
a system around him,
or the one like and the people have been talking about him playing backup to Russell Wilson or Cam Newton,
right?
Obviously try to group the runners with the runners.
Yeah,
but he don't want to run.
Right.
Which is, I can understand why he don't want to run, because he's fragile.
But it also is the only thing that made him relevant. Right. It seems to me that system was what made him. And outside of all those options and all that kind of thing, what do you need him for?
Right. I mean, he has a strong arm, so I mean, he can get the ball down the field. It's just his accuracy. I have a issue, because it seems like even that year he was coming back, he was more focused on getting back physically. That when he showed up on the field, he didn't seem like he actually prepared.
He wasn't prepared.
Yeah, to play quarterback. And so
and a lot of people talked about how he missed, vital years of development because of the injuries. So off seasons were kind of, like you said, dedicated to rehab and getting strength back, as opposed to developing and honing in on his skills.
You can't watch film. I mean, because he has all the skills. You can't watch film and
right. You can, but you gotta know how to put your skills into play. So
people make so many excuses for him.
That's true.
But at the same time, guess who's doing good? Kirk Cousins. Guess who came in the same year? Kirk Cousins.
Guess who wasn't injured and could play the whole. He was able to
Kirk
develop.
Cousins didn't play.
He was able to develop, though. Like, he didn't have to spend all his time all in for week one.
Only to go out by week 2.
Be gone by week 2.
Oh, man, I guess I got to start over again.
I actually did kind of like the guy, but, I don't want him. I don't want him to be my quarterback.
You don't like him enough to have him on your team,
Of course not. No.
Okay.
Of course not.
Sounds like a Jerry Jones kind of mentality.
Absolutely. We breed that as Cowboys fans.
Right.
And I'm kind of over Tony Romo.
Oh, he's old.
Yeah. It's about that time.
His collarbone is old.
His collarbone is 98.
It's like,
he got more wear and tear than
back in
anybody.
those old Western movies where you push open the doors and they open.
Right,
That's how his
open.
collarbone is.
Yeah, so they're trying to do some kind of surgery to put some kind of
metal plate,
steel plate, but I just don't have faith that it's going to help him.
What is he, 36?
Yeah,
he's not
and
gonna
still
have
has
a Brady career.
Too many years on his contract, in my opinion.
How many years he?
I think 3 years left.
Oh my God,
that's absurd.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is sometimes loyal to a fault.
Sometimes he's always loyal to a
No,
fault.
he wasn't loyal to Jimmy Johnson.
That's true.
Yeah,
Because he talked back.
exactly.
He was a little too bold for his britches.
Right. But enough Cowboys talk.
Oh, okay. That's all. That's all I get, huh?
That's all you get.
Move on.
No more Cowboys. Go Skins.
I said good day.
But I'll tell you, that boy be making money, Jerry Jones.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
Have
did
you
say,
Have you ever been to the stadium?
nah.
The
I
stadium
want to.
is amazing.
My boy actually lives in Dallas, and
Yeah.
man, I gotta call him back.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah. Oops. I'm sorry. I mean, I saw him call, but I forgot to call back. But yeah, one day I'm gonna go
Yeah,
down there.
it's a very nice stadium. Like even if you would just go to, they have like standing room areas where you can, just look from there, and it's really nice even from there. It's amazing.
I'm not with that standing room stuff. Dan Snyder tried to
Really?
put that in to the.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got standing room all the way up the top. So not only is your nose gonna bleed, but you gotta stand while you don't.
I
while
can't.
it's bleeding.
I can't go up that.
Yeah,
that high.
come on, dude.
I'm short for a reason because I'm scared of heights.
Wait,
it ain't
but
happening.
wouldn't that? Time out. You said you scared for a reason, and that's why you ain't.
No, I'm
talk?
short for a reason.
Short for a reason.
Yeah. If I were tall, then it would probably be
that's so
difficult
funny.
for me to live life at that altitude.
What a positive outtake.
Yeah. If I were any taller, it would be awkward.
Right.
Yeah, I'm terrified of heights.
So our producer's telling us we need to move on to another topic.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I guess we got boring.
Right. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you're a Wizards fan, right?
Yeah. And they just got beat by
Well,
Cleveland.
I mean, they made some trades, right?
Yeah, I like
Made some acquisitions.
So I like Markieff Morris.
Markeith is the weirdest name I've ever heard in my life. I thought it
I
was
will-
Marquise for a long time. I thought whoever was talking to me had a speech impediment. But it's Markeith.
It had a speech
for-
impediment?
Yeah, seriously, straight up. I did.
Well, I won't deny it is pretty weird of a name, but I think he's a good acquisition.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get a good acquisition by health. With
Okay.
Allen Anderson, he's a scorer. I think we actually have a pretty complete team now. I mean, to make a playoff run.
Okay.
I mean, we ain't gonna win no championship right
Yeah.
now, but
And the East is, easy enough to compete in.
yeah, and crazy enough, the East from top to bottom has better records than the West.
Is that right?
West
Wow.
has a losing record at the AFC.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa.
Okay.
That's different. But I kind of think they should break up the East versus West anyway.
Really?
Yeah, they should do it more like the NFL where you have like divisions.
Random divisions.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so the East has, not the East has anything, but it's broken up. So it won't just be West versus East. Because I think the East doesn't have as many good destinations as the West. And so players tend to go to where the weather's nice.
That's a good point.
And so that's kind of a disadvantage in itself. But and like you got LA and Houston and Dallas and all of those places is just.
But even when you look at that, does that really determine who goes where as far as
If I was
free
a player,
agency?
I mean, and maybe just from me being ignorant to the process.
Right.
But if I was a player, I would want to play in Miami.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play in.
But for a long time, remember, no one would go to Miami. Like
True.
right before they got hot, it was Alonzo Mourning by himself.
That's true.
Dunking on everybody.
That's true.
And they had no team to put around him.
maybe
But that's a heck of a city to play in.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it don't have that much to do with
I
weather.
think it changes depending on generations.
Right.
So I think there was a generation of people who just would not care about playing in Miami, but now that's just a popping city. It seems right now for people of our age. So
Yeah, because good point. Because people ain't going to LA.
right, that's a very good point.
LA sucks.
Yeah,
They're terrible.
it's hard to watch.
Did you know that Kobe Bryant has? I think he has, if not the second lowest, but the worst 3-point percentage of this year.
Wow.
Of qualified people, I guess
Right.
150 shots or something.
Something like that.
Something like that. He has the worst.
Yeah, and I think that this is probably the worst scoring of his career, right? It's got to be one of the worst.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But so you're back, huh?
Yeah, he's coming in, popping in the shot.
Yeah. But yeah, so
What do you think of the coach? What's his name?
Whitman.
Whitman. You not a fan? I like him because he's really honest.
So
That's why I like Jay Gruden, because they say anything out their mouth. And
Yeah.
that's really cool from a fan's perspective. Like when Jay Gruden was going off for RG3,
Right.
I love that because you don't hear coaches
Yeah,
like give honest opinions of their players.
I think
You always hear like the whitewash stuff of, yeah, you got to be able to do this, blah, blah. But he was like, no, like he need to mind his business and worry about his own stuff because he sucked too. That's I like that from a coach.
yeah, I like it, but I think there's a time and place for that too as well. I mean, you can't be calling
It's
out
stuff to build a team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because somebody made a good point when I was listening to the radio. It was like those players
Yeah.
are liked by other players in the locker room, and so if you keep calling out somebody, they're going to
Yeah.
9 times out of 10
Yeah.
side with the player,
Right.
And then now you got an issue on your hand
Yeah.
because now you got the team.
I think the reason I like it is because Bill Parcells is one of my favorite football coaches of all
Yeah.
time, and he had no cut cards.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it
he
works.
said anything, but
It-
I guess he had the career behind it.
Right. And it also works when, like you said, you had a career behind it, and one, you think logically and you're
Right.
rational.
Yeah.
Like it ain't just stuff that you just
Right.
pulling out.
Opinionated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually factual, and I guess in RG3 sense, it was factual in most cases.
I think so. But it was just funny to hear him go off,
Yeah.
like weekly.
Yeah, and Whitman, I think he has a lot of old school, traditional ways of playing.
He's really conservative.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
I think is killing us.